Thank you for watching. So this is another tutorial in our iOS Swift development series. So today we are going to talk about the NS Notification Center. And actually we are going to create a little sample just to learn a little more about it, how to implement it, and why it is useful. So the NS Notification Center is an object which provides broadcast message within a application. So whenever you need to send some type of notification throughout your application, it's really important to know about the NS notification. So the NS notification is part of our application. The NS notification center is part of our application. So we get a thread, or we get just in the NS notification just saying, let's say that we want to create or we want to register a message I don't know, message notification, which is going to be equal to a NS notification center that default center. The default center is just how we create a in this case a notification receiver. So we complete it by adding an observer, and an observer is just an object that registers to receive notifications, right? So in this case we are registering the observer itself, and the selector just indicates the method in this case, or the object that will be executed once the notification is received. By the way, we don't need to specify the message notification variable, because in this case with the NS notification center, that default center that add observer returns is a void. So we only have to create in this case the notification receiver by this way. So we need to specify who will handle the action once a notification is received. So in this case we are going to indicate that we'll have like a message handler, right, which is going to be a function. We need to add a colon here, because I don't know, that way we can the interpreter or when our application compiles we'll be able to run. If you forget to add the colon here, the application will throw an error. So then we have the name argument, so or the name parameter. So the name parameter identified our notification, so it's like a name. So whenever we post a notification with this name, it means that this notification will be called. So let's call this notification a message notification, right? A object, I don't know, in the next video we are going to talk about this one, but in this case it will be just nil for this for the sake of this example. So here we have registered our notification, which will be called once we post a notification using the message notification name. So remember that the selector here will be called once we notified, when we throw or we trigger this notification. So let's create this function. So message handler is our selector, and it's important to know that the selector can or should take, or may only take, in this case, may only take only one argument, which is the notification itself. right? So that'll be all. It takes a notification. So in this case, we are going to print my name is a notification notification that object. I'm going to make it simple and you'll figure out what's going on here. Alright. So okay, so let's run our application and see what's going on. So we are not expecting any behavior now. We have added this button over here, but we don't have any handler right now. So we don't have any code who's take care of that button. So let's add it to our project now. So let's open our interface assistant editor, and here let's point out to our view controller. So we are going to drag and drop from our button to the view controller. Let's specify it's an action, and let's call this action button press, and the type is UI button. Let's connect it, and here we are creating just a target action pattern in which once the button is pressed, this function will be called. So from here we are going to emulate, or we are going to specify, or we are going to trigger the notification that we have already created, right? So remember, every time an event occurred, this, and you specified this notification as the action that will be take place. So this method here will be called, right? So now, so this is the name of our notification. So let's copy it, and let's use our NS notification center, that default center that post a notification. And here we see that we need a name, the name of the notification that we want to trigger, and the object, and any object, in this case any object that you would like to pass, right? So here we have the name, which is message notification. Okay, and the object. So in this case, remember that we created this function, and which is receiving a notification, and we are printing out my name is, and we are specifying notification object. So here, that notification object is the object that we are intending to pass. So that object in this case will be an NS string. It could be any object. So I don't know, let's say Anthony Rodriguez, right? And that's it. So how is our application intended to work? Well, what is going on is that the application will run. So this screen, this one will be presented, and once we click this button, let's put a name, click me, right? And let's update the frame, right? Once we hit click me, this function will be called, and the notification will be triggered, because we are saying that message notification, please come up, you know, it's like execute, right? And once so we are be calling that notification, and we'll be passing this object. So the notification, wherever it is, you can even create this notification in another view controller or in the app delegate, wherever you want. Wherever it is, the notification will be called, right? The notification center, which is the centralized hub, will check its table of notification, and will trigger the notification if it's present. So in this case, it is. So the notification will call this selector, which is the message handler, and then the message handler function will be called, and the object that we passed, in this case my name, will be printed out. So let's confirm that it is working correctly. So we are running our application. So the application is up, and once we click me, there's an error. So let's see what's going on. It's really interesting. So what is going on is the notification view controller pressed unrecognized selector. So what does that mean? The unrecognized selector. Well, okay. Well, actually, it has to do with a previous. Yeah, it has to do with a previous I don't know, I was just working around before creating this tutorial, so I know now what the problem is. It's that this button has a reference to another target action function, right? So let me just delete this one. I'm going to delete this one too, and then I'm going to link it again, so and see what happened. Alright, it's working now. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and that the concept of the NS, and basically this is the most fundamental part. There are other functions and some other elements that you can learn about the NS notification center, but essentially it looks like this is a really good approach for any basic construction of any application that you need to make. So I hope you have found this tutorial useful. If you have any comment or any question, please feel free to comment, and I really appreciate any feedback. All right, thank you.